on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
6 p.m. in Kupe Manunguba Division, the southwest region of Cameroon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. First, our major stories. A devastating incident has occurred in Gouache, a village in Bafoussam, west region of Cameroon, where a mother and her 2 children have lost their lives after consuming a homemade porridge yams. The victims, aged between 47, 10 and 7, rapidly fell ill after eating the meal. Meanwhile, 2 other children from the same family are currently hospitalized, and protesters from Maimen village in Guti subdivision took to the streets, marching to the governor's office in Boya to express their discontentment over the handling of a succession issue within their community. At the heart of the dispute is the selection of a traditional ruler for Maimen village. Those are top stories. The news in full in a jiffy. Once more, good evening. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fokwe. We begin with this heartbreaking incident that has unfolded in Gouache. It is a village in Bafoussam, west region of Cameroon, where a mother and her 2 children lost their lives after consuming homemade porridge yams. The victims, aged 47, 10 and 7 years old, fell ill just minutes after eating the meal. 2 other children from the same family are currently receiving treatment at the hospital. Esiru Silengu reports.
A tragedy hit Gouache as 3 family members lost their lives after consuming yams. According to family sources, the yams were harvested by the mother close to their home. Unfortunately, they experienced a malaise immediately after eating the meal. A close relative explains that they showed symptoms of food poisoning, such as vomiting, and were rushed to a nearby health facility. While there, their condition worsened. The medics in charge decided to transfer the victims to the Bafoussam Regional Hospital. However, due to financial constraints, the family head did not comply in time.
On a référé directement à l'hôpital régional.
It was only the next day that Solange and her children were taken to the hospital. That evening, they refused to go to the regional hospital because it was late, but the next day, we obliged them to. Tragically, 3 of them did not survive at the Bafoussam Regional Hospital and Mifi District Hospital. The mother, Lido Solange, 47 years old, and her 2 children, aged 7 and 10, gave up the ghost. The inhabitants of Gouache are in shock and are questioning whether it was food intoxication or poisoning. Meanwhile, the other family members who were in critical condition are responding to treatment as investigations continue. Jomeni Bena, the head of the family, remains inconsolable and the village in confusion.
And now, still on another unfortunate incident, a disturbing discovery was made this morning in the Newtown Aripo neighborhood in the Douala 2 subdivision, where local residents found an aborted 6-month-old fetus dumped beside the road. The fetus was wrapped in a dress and the mother's identity remains unknown. Unfortunately, this incident is not an isolated one, as many of such cases have been reported in various parts of Douala. In response to the discovery, the Douala 2 Council sanitation agents were alerted and promptly removed the fetus for burial. While this incident is certainly tragic, it highlights the importance of providing support and resources to mothers who may be facing difficult situations. Now to something else. Inhabitants of the Bois de Senche neighborhood, the Douala 3 subdivision, have called on local authorities to help them out of their problems. The inhabitants were surprised when they were told that their houses will be demolished on the grounds that the land documents they have are fake. A crisis meeting has been organized and is expected to take place at any time soon with the divisional officer for Douala 3. Smajikan Gabriel reports.
Disgruntled inhabitants of Bois-de-Senche neighborhood in Douala block a major section of the road going into their neighborhood. The inhabitants are protesting that they were told about a demolition exercise that will soon take place in their neighborhood. Our cry is for the authorities to understand us. We want just a place to lay our head. We have a land document and they are telling us about ADC. We even showed the other document which has not yet been cancelled. We want the divisional officer to enlighten us during our meeting to know whether we are to dialogue with ADC or ASEGNA. Facing a lot of resistance from the inhabitants of Bois-de-Senche neighborhood, those who claim ownership of the land have decided to flood the zone in order to send the people away, and this is having a negative effect. As you filmed that water, that is what they do day in, day out, and in no time, several homes will be flooded, forcing families out of their houses. This is affecting the people who fall almost every day. Notwithstanding the document brandished by these angry Bois-de-Senche inhabitants, seemingly to those who have decided to see the land being liberated are not interested.
He should help us so that they should not break us. We want to live with our children. Our children are suffering. The other one in the hospital that fell the other last time into the water. So we are regretting because this land does not belong to other people. The Cameroon belongs to Cameroonians. The land of Cameroon belongs to Cameroonians.
The divisional officer of Douala 3 has promised a crisis meeting come Monday, but the people of Bois-de-Senche say they can't leave a land which they have suffered to make it look beautiful as it is now.
And now we leave the littoral region to the southwest region of Cameroon, where some indigents of Maimen in Goti subdivision have staged a protest march to the governor's office in Boya. They have expressed their grievances over the management of the succession issue within the community by the administration of Kupe Maninguba. They have been received by the Secretary General at the governor's office, who called on them to maintain calm while the matter is being addressed. Rex Afona, Southwest correspondent, reports.
These are sons and daughters of Manyemen. They have come with their grievances to the highest office of the Southwest region.
What the SDO of Bangem, Mr. Ekema Mongamo William, has done in our village is a taboo. He cannot come to a village and appoint a chief. It is never done like that. We even had a consultative tour on the 3rd of January with the DO. There is no family that presented him. And when the SDO came, he refused the list of kingmakers which families have sat, constituted and given to the DO. He brought the very list he used in Bangem and cancelled the prefectural order, came again with that list to declare Mbwe as chief. It is on that grounds that we are here today. We are talking to Secretary General. We are praying is convey our information to the father of the region.
They emphasize that there are 5 families which make up a Manyemen, and the chief-elect is not from any of them.
The chieftaincy in Manyemen constitutes of 5 different families. And when you go into detail, these same 5 families, they select the kingmakers from this family to produce a chief. And from beginning, since in 1936, the first chief that was enthroned, is coming from the Jet family. So, and that is how it has been going in line.
After a meeting between the heads of the 5 families and the Secretary General at the Governor's office, Gilbert Achakwenti, the Secretary outlined what the law says about chieftaincy and called on them to remain calm.
It is not the place of the SDO to carry consultative talks with a class chiefdom. That it is a role of the DO.
Seemingly satisfied, they leave for their homes, hoping a lasting solution to the dispute over chieftaincy in Manyemen is found soonest.
And just after the protest at the governor's office that took place in Boya, a counter-communique signed by Akung Daniel Akung, said to be the chairman of the Mayaman Village Traditional Council. The document says Mayaman people have been calm at home are not part of the protest in Boya. It further says that youth and other protesting individuals were people hired from neighboring villages like Ibanga, Bitok and Talanganye to misrepresent Mayaman. Addressing the governor of the Southwest region, the communique says that the people of Mayaman are kingmakers and have kindmakers who have distanced themselves from the protesters and a group of disgruntled individuals led by Hope Sone Ebai to destabilize Mayaman village, reporting that Hope Sone Ebai was unduly coronated by his supporters in a neighboring village. The release urged the governor to allow them to present their chief, Honorable Williams Bisa. Away from the Southwest region, we take you to the Far North region, where councillors in Mokolo, that is in that part of the country, have voted to impeach Mayor Dr. Vahut Degime, citing impulsiveness and poor management skills. The tense ordinary council session saw 49 out of 58 councillors vote in favor of his removal, creating a violent and tense atmosphere. This development highlights the challenges faced by local governments in Cameroon, where regional councils have significant autonomy but often struggle with effective governance. Fomi Armstrong Sanda tells us more.
The Mokolo Municipal Council session was a tense and dramatic affair marked by a heated disagreement between the mayor, Dr. Vahut Degime, and majority of councillors of the Mokolo Council. The meeting's agenda, which included approving the municipal council's budget for 2025, was derailed due to animosity between the two parties. At the heat of the issue lies the councillors' accusation of the municipal dysfunctions, lack of involvement in decision-making, and the mayor's impulsive behavior. Despite the municipality's substantial budget of over 1 billion francs CFA, the councillors feel that the mayor's actions are hindering progress.
We are against poor management, lack of involvement in decision-making, lack of accountability, lack of transparency, slow development and impulsiveness on the part of the mayor. We voted him as our mayor, but since he wants to run the council as a private business, let him go and do that in the quarters.
Qu'on le laisse donc travailler au quartier seul, pas la commune. La commune, c'est pour nous. Le maire de Mokolo, même dans son quartier, c'est l'opposition qui gagne.
The mayor is unable to win elections in his neighborhoods for the CPDM, and we are afraid that the opposition parties might take over this council if he continues as the mayor of Mokolo.
Que nous souhaitons.
The situation escalated to a point where 49 councillors demanded the mayor's dismissal, and the senior divisional officer for the Mayo Chanaga division, Avung Dang, had to intervene to suspend the session and postpone debate. The mayor's refusal to pay session fees further infuriated the councillors, leading to a violent confrontation that nearly resulted to the mayor being lynched by the angry councillors. To diffuse the tensions, the senior divisional officer ordered the payment of compensation while the mayor quietly left the town hall. The councillors say they are worried that the opposition may gain control of the council given their recent wins in 3 of the 7 councils of the Mayo Chanaga division.
And now we talk religion. As Cameroonians struggle with economic hardship, the Far North Regional Delegation of Trade has teamed up with economic stakeholders to bring some much-needed relief to the population. With the Feast of Ramadan approaching, the region has launched a special sale of basic commodities at discounted price. The initiative aims to enable Muslim faithful to celebrate the festive period with joy despite the prevailing economic challenges. Innocent Aze tells us more.
As Muslim faithful in Cameroon prepare to celebrate the Feast of Ramadan amidst economic hardship, those in Marwa, Far North region, see a smile being put on their faces by authorities of the Regional Delegation of Trade, who in collaboration with economic stakeholders sell basic commodities to them at giveaway prices. This will permit the Muslim faithful who overcrowded the special sales points feast happily. Bubakari Abdullahi, Far North Regional Delegate of Trade, says the prices are down to earth with the variety of food items affordable to all. A liter of vegetable oil sold at 1,600 francs or 1,700 francs in Marwa is now sold by the Ministry of Trade at 1,100 francs. Beneficiaries wish this price remains.
On profite dans ça, ça nous aide à la maison.
This is really of great help to our families. With the 500 francs deduction, we are able to buy other items. Since the special sale was launched, the population have not stopped trooping in to afford the varieties at cheaper cost than at the store.
Innocent Ase reporting there. And still in religion, Ramadan celebrations on parking this continues this Sunday. Muslims worldwide will celebrate the feast of Ramadan, a joyous occasion marked by spiritual reflection, communal bonding and traditional practices. One of such tradition is the consumption of dates, a simple yet sacred act that holds profound meaning in Islamic culture. Malaglari sat down with the Imam of the Dogbasi Mosque to explore the significance of dates during this Ramadan season. Her report.
In the Holy Book of Quran, dates are mentioned 22 times, which according to Muslims portray a huge significance. Muslims also believe that Prophet Muhammad used to prefer eating dates to break his fasting.
Le messager de l'islam a dit, rompez vos jeûnes avec les dates.
Muslims faithful in the city of Douala, just like elsewhere, consume this fruit not because of its nutritional value.
En islam, le messager de Dieu aimait plus les dates qu'on appelle ajwa. Ces qualités de dates,
but the same Prophet Muhammad consumed date more because of its spiritual value than the nutritional part.
Sont reconnus sur les formes spirituelles.
Hence, Muslims all over the world follow this tradition. How to eat dates in Islam matters. Many use 3 to break their fasting.
On doit utiliser 3 dates, mais il est recommandé d'utiliser le nombre impair.
Sheikh Imam Hamadu Hamidu, the Imam of the Dogbasi Mosque, recommends a pair of dates for fasting. He goes further to explain that God's messenger advised that one who takes 7 dates in the morning on empty stomach will be free from any demonic attacks or poison throughout the day. However, it is advisable to consume dates moderately because they contain a lot of sugar but good in fiber.
That report done by Malak Larry puts a cap to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye for now.